So you want to live in a white-only country?
Not necessarily white-only, but a country that is clearly based on a European model in which whites will basically remain the overwhelming majority in perpetuity.
Okay, how do you achieve that?
Well, that's an excellent question. Donald Trump has got some first good steps in mind. He wants to make sure no more illegal immigrants come into the country, and he wants to make sure that all illegal immigrants here go back. He wants to end birthright citizenship. He wants to put at least a temporary ban on Muslim immigration.
What happens with Asians? What happens with African Americans? What happens with Latinos?
What happens to my people...
You presented me with a very limited view of the United States.
You're saying the United States is a place anybody can come and turn it into anything you want, and the people who built this country and established its institutions, if they glimmer away, so what? You are promoting a process that will reduce my people to a minority. You want more power for Latinos. That comes at the expense of my people's power.
Well, this is getting interesting. Welcome back to this particular episode. I go by Sherlock. Now, I do not know what exactly is going on, but from the look of things, it is likely to go south. And even as Trump's, second-term re-election poses a threat to especially the immigrants, there's a likelihood of his Trump supporters to be able to see this one from a different perspective, even as you're seeing from this particular point in view, that they strongly see themselves as different from the fact that the Hispanics are there, the blacks are there, or the Latinos are there, and their influx or their coming on into this particular end would mean that the whites will become the minority in 2044 as per to the statement, and that one also I stand corrected. I don't know if that is very true, but what does that exactly mean to the racism that is publicly coming out very clear from different mindsets, from different people of esteem, values, people that of strong opinion, people of strong standpoints that, hey, there is no way that you guys are going to come to my country and then all of a sudden, or over years, some years down the line, I'm going to be the minority. And there's going to do everything that they're going to do. Trump's, re-election into office would mean that these particular people, the whites, if you're not a white, literally, that you are going to be suppressed, or you are not really going to find it easy to be able to, let's say, for example, make it to some positions in power, in situations or in political arena that would maybe make that you're making some decisions over the running of the particular country's policies. That would also mean that there are some privileges which were extended. That, like, for example, the green card, or those particular 55,000 lucky winners globally that maybe find their way in the other end, and if they do, maybe in a different forum, which is going to make it very hard for anybody to get into America. And also maybe the border, those particular great wall between the Mexicans trying to keep on the abject immigrants in that particular context. So this tells you guys that there is likelihood
all around the world, wherever you look. If you see conflict, people diligently slitting each other's throats, whether it's in the Middle East, whether it's in Africa, it's because of diversity of ethnicity, of language, of religion, but primarily of race.
So you want to live in a white-only country?
Not necessarily white-only, but a country that is clearly based on a European model in which whites will basically remain the overwhelming majority in perpetuity.
Okay, how do you achieve that?
Well, that's an excellent question. Donald Trump has got some first good steps in mind. He wants to make sure no more illegal immigrants come into the country, and he wants to make sure that all illegal immigrants here go back. He wants to end birthright citizenship. He wants to put at least a temporary ban on Muslim immigration.
What happens with Asians? What happens with African Americans? What happens with Latinos?
What happens to my people...
You presented me with a very limited view of the United States.
You're saying the United States is a place anybody can come and turn it into anything you want, and the people who built this country and established its institutions, if they glimmer away, so what? You are promoting a process that will reduce my people to a minority. You want more power for Latinos. That comes at the expense of my people's power.
We're 17% of the population,
right,
and we only have 3 senators. So therefore, we don't have the political representation that we deserve.
And you want more and more and more.
Of course, because we only have 3 senators.
How much political?
At this point, 14 senators.
And 50 years from now, how many would you like?
Let's talk about 50 years from now. In 2044,
Yes.
white non-Hispanics will become a minority.
Yeah.
Is that what you're afraid of?
Mr. Ramos, it's fantastic for you, for my people to lose power and become a minority. That's fantastic for you. How does it feel for
Because
me?
it is our country, Mr.
Our
Taylor.
country, our
It is our country. Don't you think we both have the same rights in this country?
I think that despite this nonsense in the Declaration about anybody being anyone,
Excuse
the
me,
white
you
people,
don't
the white
think
people.
we are all created equal?
No. What you want to do is change this country into an entire nation in which white people will become refugees in their own land
So
if your vision comes through.
You don't want to
true.
live alongside Mexicans?
Now, why is it wrong for me not to want my neighborhood to change? If my neighborhood is European, if my neighborhood they don't keep chickens in the backyard that crow at 3 in the morning.
What are you
they
talking
don't,
about?
I'm
That's a
talking
complete
about
stereotype.
Mexicans.
That's a complete stereotype.
Yes, and stereotypes are all true.
It's a
aren't they?
racist stereotype, what you're saying.
Oh, racist! Give me a break.
What are you going to do with the thousands of Muslims,
We certainly
American citizens, who are serving in the military?
I'm sure that we just couldn't possibly survive with all those Muslim Navy Rangers. Yes, I'm sure that's true.
That is not right.
No, I'm talking
You
about
cannot make
Muslim,
fun of people who are saving our lives.
They want special holidays and special food in
So if you
school
don't like their
restaurants,
religion, you don't have to join them. That's fine.
Well, no,
but,
they are-
But,
wait,
but
I'm
also,
not-
but you can't discriminate against them simply
Of
because
course.
you.
Of course, anyone should have the right to discriminate against anyone he wishes. And the point is,
But not by the law, Mr. Taylor. You can't do that.
I think the law is absolutely incorrect.
Do you feel that whites are superior, are more intelligent than blacks?
I think, on average, whites are more intelligent than blacks, and North Asians are more intelligent than whites.
How can you
All
say
of this
that?
How can you think otherwise?
Mr. Taylor,
Why
what are you...
vigilance would you have to think that a pygmy is, on average, is just as intelligent as a Dane? Why would you think that? The entire record of history is completely consistent with the assumption that black Africans are less intelligent on average than Asians or Caucasians.
That's absurd. That's repugnant and
Wait,
absurd.
Repugnant to you?
Yes, of course.
Why would you even entertain the possibility that on average a pygmy is as intelligent as a Japanese?
The comparison that you are trying to make, it is simply impossible because of historical circumstances, because economic conditions, because of the
More
moment.
excuses. We have to be willing to say to all those who are non-European, we wish you well, but this territory is for us. And sorry, we have the right to be us, and only we can be us.
So you want me to leave?
Under certain circumstances, yes, we would ask you to go. Unless whites are prepared to exclude people, then they will be shoved aside. That is the fate which I will fight until my last breath.
Well. Now, in conclusion to what exactly you just seen here, that tells you a lot that emotions are rising, tempers are escalating, and everybody's up here trying to, quote unquote, make America great. But there are many things right now that are going on, and let me just try to share your sentiments here. And I'm going to try to hold on so that I do not get emotional at this particular point. You see, we are in this particular big rock that is suspended in space. We don't even know where we're going. We don't know where we are drifting from and where we're drifting towards. And somebody is able to say, hey, you know what? On this part of this particular piece of rock that is suspended in space, we belong here. And you belong on the other end. While if this particular thing tries maybe topples over, everybody that is on board, gone like that. So guys, I think it is high time that we need to be able to realize that who we are and what exactly that we really need to embrace as far as humanity is concerned. But that wasn't my point. My point was, what does that now mean? That there are going to be borders, there are going to be very strict rules that are going to be allowing people to move from one place to another in search of quote unquote a better life. And what does that mean to those ones who already found themselves in that particular land? And even as this particular president that has come in power, who is going to be sworn in January, coming next year, 2025 Jan, and with his particular strong policies. But again, is one thing which is very clear with Donald Trump, has come out very clearly. It's not like those ones who are hiding around their words. He calls a spade a spade. You don't call a spade a big spoon. He says, hello, you people and us if we are Americans, we must have landed in this particular place earlier than you, and we think that maybe we are, we are entitled to this particular piece of rock, and therefore when you're coming in, all these particular the reasons you're coming in with all your sicknesses. No, forgive me, but I never meant exactly that. But just trying to bring an analogy that's stronger to that. You're coming out with your weaknesses. You're coming in with the inferiority complexities. You're coming in with your inability to think around, or the ability to not be able to find solutions. Yours just to come and take the job which are here, and you're not contributing to any sort of developments as far as that particular country is concerned. But I can also attest to the scenario that all those particular privileges that have been set are put in place by the previous regimes, the Trumps, the Biden's administration. We have the Obama's administration, and all those, like the Obamacare. Obamacare is through the windows. Not through the windows, but looking forward to that. And then there were some celebrations, or there's some policies that maybe Biden's administration had put in place. You see, every president that comes in power comes with their own different policies as far as their ideologies and their governing principles dictates. So I can tell and attest that there is more to wait. There are more to be anticipated for as far as Donald Trump's regime is concerned. Time and time Trump has always come out clearly, not hiding around the words. I always say that what, America making it great again. What does literally that mean? And guys, if you're feeling me or you're getting me up to this particular very end, let me get to know your comments on the comment section. What exactly does make America great again mean? I think make America greater mean, to me, that is, and also stand correct. You can correct me on the the comment section. Do drop me your comments there. Means that, you see what, we are the we are the Americans, and therefore we are the majorities, and therefore we are to say here, and we are not to bend on any other people's ideologies from outside. In as much as that constitution, that land's constitution dictates that everybody has a right, and therefore not really everybody has a right to do anything that they want. Not everybody has a right to elect any leader as they want or as they deem it. So that is something which is going to be curtailed as the white supremacy and the whiteness thing gets into the blood of this particular people. And it is of course again of importance to note that it is now to the receivers and those who've been claiming that what, Black Lives Matter and this one matters, what, our rights have been not been looked down, and then racism. And this is the time that racism, most likely, that's as per my projections, that racism is going to sky through the roof, and which will be compounded up the whole effect that the blacks have been fighting forward, advocating, agitating for equality and freedom, full freedom, not that one which they're curtailed, and liberty to own land in whichever place that you want. You cannot just own land in America, in as much as that you have how much money that you have. But that one, I think it's also going to be curtailed. But I also do stand corrected. Do get me your comments in the comment section exactly what you think. But guys, really much looking forward to interact from such a kind of talks, as much as the Black Lives Matter, and also the American, their position as far as America is concerned, and also the global, and also the world at large. I go by Latino, in case you pumped across the particular channel for the first time. Let's see each other in the next episode. Stay tuned.